Once again, great people of YouTube land, it is me, your friend, Wild Elf 26. And how y'all been? Now, a little while back, I did a teaser video. And the teaser video was not of my PlayStations 2 and 3. It's actually of a Sega AtGames flashback system. Now, those of you that remember the teaser, here's the the flashback, Sega flashback console. Now, it has 80 built-in games. Most people are aware. They are down-pitched in sound. And some people don't seem to understand what that is. It was done during the time of the licensing between Sega and AtGames for this system to be licensed and sold with the blessing of Sega. One of the things I wanted to touch on, besides some of this camera angle here, hold on a minute. Okay. Forgive me, the neighbor's dog is going cuckoo. Okay. There we are. Just a moment to line up the site. One of the things I wanted to touch on is we'll be testing a few things here. We'll be testing some of the built-in Sega Genesis games. We'll be testing some cartridges like an unlicensed EA Sports or Electronic Arts game like Road Rash. We'll be checking an older Genesis game like Cool Spot. And one of the not so older ones, Street Fighter II Championship Edition. Now, we will be testing also with the wireless controller, which it comes with a pair of these wireless controllers. And you switch one for player 1 and one for player 2. But they're line of sight to this little sensor right here. They're actually surprisingly good. And we'll be using a traditional Genesis 6-button wired controller. It works surprisingly good on this machine. I'm pretty sure that Sega shared all their specific frequencies and everything else with this company, so this would work without a problem. This is a third-party replacement Genesis controller done through a company called Tommy, which I believe is the connected company to Hyperkin. So this is a replacement 6-button pad from Tommy. And to give you an idea of how big, or not very big, that this AtGames console is, this is a Game Boy cartridge. Tetris, of course, we all know Tetris. Here's the AtGames console. Here's the cartridge of Tetris. I mean, it's not very big whatsoever. I mean, look at that. That's just amazing, folks, ain't it? Okay. So, let's get into it already. Let's see here. We are going to use the wireless gamepad. It's set in the player 1 position. And going to check some of the games here. Comic Zone, that's a pretty good one. They're in rows. 40 of them, or 41 of them, are actual bona fide Genesis games. Then there's a bunch of shareware, or what some people call shovelware. A couple of those games are good too. There's one called Whack-A-Wolf. It's not too bad. It's kind of like Whack-A-Mole at an arcade. It has on here, surprisingly, it has Golden Axe 2, and the never cartridge released Golden Axe 3. So that's pretty good. And let me see here. Sonic and Knuckles, Shinobi 3, Shadow Dancer, the original Shinobi on Genesis, Ristar, and Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 2, and the original Mortal Kombat. And for all those puzzle game fans, one of the best ones on here, made by a company called Compile, and they did this Sega Genesis version. It's themed after Sonic and Dr. Robotnik. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. One of my personal favorites. And just for a heck of it, let's go to that. Yeah, we're gonna play some Dr. Robotnik here. Now on the wireless controller, the lower button is start, but the upper button is menu. Okay, start. I have to remember to point this thing at the console. I can be back beyond where this camera actually is right now and have a good signal on this, a surprisingly good signal. So. Here we go. First opponent. Maybe it's better if I sit. Hope I'm not blocking the view. Here, let me pause it. I want to line up this view proper. Yeah, okay. There we go. There. Hopefully you can see that better now. Okay. Unpause. It's actually surprisingly responsive as long as the line of sight remains in contact. Forgive the blockiness. This is in high def, and the machine I'm testing is not a high def machine. And yeah, people complain a lot, you know. Oh, isn't it high def? Why did the games do high def? Well, they did a high def version. The problem was the high def version, it offers translations. And normally that's not a bad thing. But you see, translations are indicative of a machine that rips the ROMs from the game cartridges. And they're basically called ROM rippers or ROM dumpers. And the HD flashback that AtGames makes, the HD actually looks like a copy of a Genesis 1 console, only smaller. And the vent, all of it, it looks exactly like one. But it has a HDMI output that this one does not, of course. And beyond that, the fact that it rips the ROMs makes me not wish to actually get the HD version, because I don't want to distress or cause diminishment to my classic Genesis games. The whole point of this is it's a somewhat more modern machine to play classic Genesis cartridges. And that's pretty much the mindset of retro gaming. Oh, there's some people, you know, they don't have time for any of that. They go all the way up with the latest emulator, the latest portable emulator. And now there's actual big company supported ones such as the Odin and the Steam Deck, which is a freaking enormous machine. I swear, you put some wheels on the Steam Deck and you can skateboard back and forth to your house. Okay, that's done. Let me hit menu. There we go. Go back to, let's see, just for the sake of it, we'll show that the D-pad is actually pretty good on here. I'm going to play a little Mortal Kombat 2 built in to the At Games Sega Flashback Legendary console here. Although not actually the Legends. That's a later release. The machine looks almost identical. The one called Legends, I believe they removed the cartridge slot. This one has the cartridge slot. Okay, let's go to options. Difficulty, easy. We don't need it very easy. Credits, give me 24. Yay, okay. Extra controls. 6 button, there we go. And to show you the dexterity of the D-pad on this, and that's D-pad dexterity, here we go. We're going to unlock the cheat menu just for the hell of it. Okay. It's called Test Modes. Oh, demo match was impatient. Okay. Test Modes. Okay, left down left, right down right, left left, right right. There we go. Code works. Perfectly executed with this wireless controller that actually comes with the machine. So that's pretty good. Well, it does not like to stay stationary, does it? No. Okay. I know gamers are in a hurry to play, but it's kind of wild to see the machine in a hurry. Okay. One hit kills player 2. Free play, why not? More. Friendship. And ooh, nasty. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to start the fun. Yeah, Liu Kang sometimes. But, you know what? Yeah, Ho Sung Pak, Liu Kang. Let's pick him. Okay. And what gets me is, iconically, he is the true Liu Kang. The man to this day is still a good martial artist. He's in impeccable shape. He could do sequels to this game, or at least do some 3D model capture and still look like his old self. It's freaking amazing. A lot of the old characters are still in great shape. The guy that played Baraka and Kano, Richard DeVizio, he's awesome. And he also played Quan Chi in Mortal Kombat 4 and MK Sub-Zero Mythologies. Okay. And this guy's kind of cool too. The one that played Giant Cage in the first 2 games. This His name is Daniel Pesina. And these are actors that were filmed in front of a blue screen. That's actually their photo, video images. That's another thing that set the original games apart from the later sequels. They looked real because they were using real people. And it wasn't just motion capture, it was actual video capture turned into frames of animation for the game. The creative team behind Mortal Kombat was a dynamic duo. It was Ed Boon and John Tobias. And apparently the sales of Sub-Zero MK Mythologies didn't do so well. And the one creator, from what I understand, threw the other one under the bus to the higher-ups and basically forced him out. Forced out John Tobias. And he later went on to make a game studio called Studio Gigante. And they did a fighting game called Tao Feng. I think it was an Xbox exclusive at first. It may also be on PC. But John was mostly responsible for the art direction and a good chunk of the story. So if the MK games past MK4 don't particularly feel right, that might be why. Because John ain't involved. Dragon. Crunchy. Okay. That's fine and dandy. Now let's switch it up a little bit. Okay. Like I said, we're going to try a unlicensed game. So EA, Electronic Arts, never had proper licensing. They just backward engineered compatibility with the Genesis. And they got it right. They got it astoundingly right. And they made these little proprietary cartridges so they wouldn't get any hot water making the Genesis shaped cartridges. Although later they seem to have panned that out toward the later stages of the Genesis run. Okay, let's turn that off for a moment. I'll put this game in. We're still using the wireless controller. Okay. There we go. Once you have a game inserted, it ignores the internal menu and goes directly to reading the cartridge. Okay. B is accelerate. All right. And C is attack. Steering is left and right, of course. Just kind of whack them as you come up to their rear tire bumper. For the ones that have an actual bumper, some of them don't. These are mostly street bikes. They tend to have an exposed back wheel. Oh, there, I swiped his crowbar. If I press, oh, and I wasn't watching oncoming traffic, knocked me right off my bike. but I still have the crowbar. Yeah, Road Rash 3. It's loosely based off of the 3DO Road Rash, and then later the Sega CD Road Rash. They basically adapted it from the Sega CD Road Rash. Coloring and whatnot are almost identical, minus the awesome A&M rock and roll music. A lot of bands from A&M were featured on the Sega CD Road Rash. Amongst them were Swerve Driver, Hammerbox, and Soundgarden. Yeah, you could jam to Rusty Cage and Outshined. Although I gotta admit, the Panasonic 3DO version looked amazing. It far outclassed Sega CD. And even though it was also released on PlayStation and Saturn, it has a slight edge over the later releases. It just has a better flow rate. The multiplayer was done well on it. Okay, I'm just doing this till the end of this particular race. Oh, if my bike survives it. It's in the red already. I've actually made it to 6th place. Yes, checker flag. I came in 7th, so it ought to be a funny video. Ooh. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Okay. Born to Run, were you? I don't think so. You're just a toddler in this group. Belladonna. Well, isn't she a peach? As she holds her bat with a big metal spike through it. Yep. Good old Electronic Arts. Alrighty. Enough of that fun. Turn that off. And I'm going to turn this off. Take out the battery. 2 birds in 1 stone. Now I'm going to use a wired controller. And I'm going to switch the game out too. Now in the teaser, I showed you Cool Spot when I was explaining how Genesis cartridges fit in the machine. And now you'll actually get to see it run. So here's an early generation Genesis cart. We've had an unlicensed one, now we'll have a licensed one. Okay, firmly inserted into the controller port. Comes on the first click. There we go. And a little reminder, that's the machine in case you forgot what it looks like. Not very big at all, which is part of the draw. 40 Genesis games built into it, that small. And it works with all your previous old school controllers. And I'm not talking the brand, I'm talking about your classic Sega Genesis controllers. Arcade sticks, all that goodness. If I had a copy of Lethal Enforcers 2 for Genesis and the blue Justifier light gun, I'd give that a run. I got a CRT over here. It's a small one, but I'm pretty certain it would have no problem functioning. Let's see. Options. I'm controlling the finger. And this finger too. Oh. Okay. Yeah, everything's good. All right. The game is a giant advertisement for 7-Up, but that's okay because it's actually a decent graphics, fun game. The engine plays a lot like Earthworm Jim, so that's pretty good. Alrighty. Now this game only uses 3 of the buttons on the controller, besides the D-pad. Okay, C is jump. B is fizzy bubble fire. There you go. You hit them with enough carbonated bubbles, they run away from you. Just like vegans. Just kidding, folks. No offense to the vegans. Okay. Yeah, these enemies are pretty armored. Boy, there's a lot of them too. This is on standard difficulty. Yeah, that's a lot of enemies that got clustered in the first level. I think I can make it to the end of this level. It's been a while. Gosh. Oh. Yeah. It's packed with enemies. Okay. Alrighty. So we see that that works perfectly well. It works perfectly well with actual classic Sega Genesis controllers. Okay. Here we go. Turn that off. It's like, why are you turning that off? Well, I'm not completely familiar with the gameplay on that particular game. It's been a long time since I gave that game a full run. And for the purposes of this video, I just want to show the high points of this machine. So, here we go. Put Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition in there. It's a licensed game, and it's a later release licensed game. Somewhat later. I think it was just shy of being 93. Let me see here. When the legal screen pops up, it'll mention the year. Okay. Now I've got 2 controllers plugged in. Yep, that sounds about right. Darn. I gotta move my sword out of the shot. Okay, oh, it is 93. 1993, all right. Okay, a little demo match going on. Okay. This, of course, is the American version. The Japanese version is almost identical, but that opening sequence looks slightly different, and some of you know exactly why it looks different. Okay, we're going to go hyper. And game start. Now, of course, there's a staple point, which is Ryu. But this time around, I'm going to pick Chun-Li. In the Championship Edition, she actually has a good fireball. But in Super Street Fighter 2, they changed the code for a fireball. Oh, Ken's going full barrel. Yeah, she had the misfortune of drawing Ken. There we go. There's the fireball. Nice smooth motion. Oh, that's a heck of a dragon punch, but not good enough. Yep. Yeah, he's coming early with the dragon punch. Oh, he's pulling out the cheat maneuvers. There, victory is mine. And what a lot of people don't realize, if you pick the gray outfit, depending on what button you press, instead of the blue outfit, parts of her dress were actually partially see-through. And when she says that's that, if you got good resolution television, a CRT one, you see a little more than they intended you to see. And that's all I will say about that. That's why it's funny when they made the Alpha series, because they took away the see-through nature of her particular outfit. There we go. I won again. Only meant to do one match, but I was on a roll after defeating Ken, so... remember, I'm controlling the gray one. I'm fighting against the blue one. The V-Sun kick, or as it says in the manual, the spinning bird kick. But that's not what she says. She says V-Sun kick. Oh, you gonna do that? Oh, she got me. I got her the first round, though. Yep, right under the arm. Ah, you can see it. Or, I hope you can see it. I won't know how well the quality of the video is until after I view it. Alrighty. I don't want this video to be too time consuming, so there we go. Oh, okay. And I beat her! Yay! And now it's time for the intermission trash talk. You should all kneel down before me. Well, that's a cool one. I'm glad I got that on tape, or on camera. Oh, Zangief. And anyway, I did say that I have a second controller plugged into this right now. I unfortunately do not have a second player at the moment of this taping, so I'm going to pause it. And now I'm going to press player 2 start. Here comes a new challenger. Now I'm stuck. I can only play as Chun-Li at the moment. But player 2 can pick whoever they feel like. So let's pick Ryu. And the start button gives you the red headband. Okay, so I'm controlling both of them actually. There she is. Squat, 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 squat. Back, forth, squat, squat. Okay. And here's Ryu. Back, forth, whoa, whoa. Down, 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 down. Back, forth. Okay. Time to throw a fireball. And throw another one. And now it's time for a hurricane kick. How about a dragon punch? Oh, okay, wait a minute. Dragon punch. There we go. There. So the Tommy controller is actually doing pretty good. Not quite as smooth flow as the actual Sega Genesis controller, but the Tommy controller's pretty dang good actually. Yep. There we go, in versus mode, yay! Alrighty. So you basically saw the high point of that. Wired controllers work. Wireless controllers definitely work. And it's AV. It comes with a yellow and white plug. That's what you use. And it uses what looks like a phone charger, but it has an actual AC adapter input on the machine instead of a phone charger USB. Alrighty, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the Sega Genesis from AtGames with the built-in 80 games, 40 of them Genesis games. And Sega gave it their okay, gave it their approval. The sound is slightly down-pitched. From what I understand, that was done on purpose, as per them being allowed to license this with actual Sega name and logoing. So, other than that, I got no problem with it. You get them under 40 bucks, brand new, and you can get them a lot cheaper now that so many used ones are online and whatnot. Pawn shops, that sort of thing too. Bye-bye, Ryu. Alright, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it wasn't too long. But I wanted to give you guys basically a better look at this machine. And here's the back of it. There's the AV out. There's the actual AC adapter plug. Here you see it's actually got a real Genesis cartridge put in there. And you can see the IR sensor spot right here for the wireless. And it has some very good, not too snug, not too loose controller inputs. And I just think it's great. I even have the portable made by the same company. The bad thing about the portable is it doesn't have a second player function. and I got to do something about the D-pad. My old one wore out because I played the crap out of fighting games on it. So hopefully I'll get a solution for that soon. All right, guys, you have a great day out there in YouTube land. This has been your good friend, Woodland Elf. Oh, screw that. I used to be Woodland Elf. Now I'm Wild Elf 26. Your good friend, Wild Elf 26. And I'm going to leave it on that note. And you guys have a great one.